Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to this new video right here. We're going to do a full market update on the crypto markets as of right now. The US market is opening in about 7 minutes. So again, we're making a video before the US market opens, which is normally something I would not recommend. The US market and the NYO is incredibly important for crypto, and that can very much set the tone for the rest of the day. But we just got some news. I wanted to talk about that. And ultimately, I do think we can say a couple of things on Bitcoin and XRP, Ethereum, and altcoins as well before the US session. But still, I mean, the US session is going to determine a lot, and it's going to determine a lot going into tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the PCE price index coming out, PCE price index data. Now that's a very fancy name, but that's basically inflation rate data. So that matters a lot. We just got some other data that I wanted to start off with. So we'll start off with that. We'll look at how that's influencing the crypto market right now. We'll talk about how that's influencing the general financial markets and whether there's a difference in that and what that difference means. Then we'll talk briefly about XRP, Ethereum, which I usually do in these videos. And then we'll talk about some altcoins or at least which altcoins are strongest. I mean, I'm relatively cautious about the markets right now. I also said that in my videos this morning that my bias at this point of time regarding the markets is no longer bullish. It's neutral, right? I'm open to both sides and I'm open to both directions. And I'll tell you why, but that's also why I'll just pinpoint some altcoins that I think you need to have on your watch list. But I won't call any altcoin bullish, or I won't say that any altcoin is going to pump, which sometimes I do. But okay, so the news that we had was the following. Jobless claims continuing an initial. The previous result was revised to be higher than previously, and the actual result is lower than expected, which is bearish. All right, that means that there's less pressure on the job market, while pressure on the job market was the key reason why we had a rate cut in September and why we would have rate cuts in October and December. And at this point of time, I'm saying it's bearish, and you can see it right here. The probability of a rate cut the 10th of December has decreased by about 11%. So that's bearish. Now, is the news fully bearish? No, because the GDP data was actually higher than expected, which is bullish as long as the inflation rate data tomorrow is not higher than expected. So that's bullish with a little bit of an asterisk. Great pronunciation. And then the trade balance was actually lower than expected, which is also good because that means that maybe we can lay off on the tariffs for now. So what we've seen in the general financial markets is a bearish reaction, and that's mostly because of that probability of rate cuts decreasing. So that's not great. But at the same point of time, the reaction for Bitcoin has actually not been bearish. So this is very interesting. All right. The reaction for Bitcoin and therefore for crypto, but you can see, like you can see right here, that crypto is actually reacting relatively well to this. That doesn't necessarily mean that will last. All right. We do need to see some more confirmation. And the fact that the equity markets right now are pushing down lower, which I do want to see how we open, which is in 4 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm still making this video right now, because I'm not sure if this is actually still updating. I do think it is, but I'm not certain about it. Because at some point of time, the pre-market stops updating. But okay, so far, pretty good reaction by Bitcoin. The main thing that we need to do going into the US session is reclaiming this level at 112,000. If we are able to reclaim that level with volume, which by the way, at this point of time, we have quite a lot of volume, so that's a good start. But if we're going to be able to reclaim that level with volume, then at least we can have some stability. And from stability, we can at least try to rally again, even though a rally or a pump at this point of time seems very far away. But because we have to do that, and we haven't done so right now, I have to say, as I said at the start of the video, that I'm relatively cautious and that I would say it's better to prepare for something like this and move down into 109,000 again. Do I think this is most likely? No. But at this point of time, I think it's 50-50 in terms of percentage probabilities of either doing this or reclaiming 112,000 and becoming stable on the short term. So wait for that, all right? Wait until we have some confirmation. Wait until the US session is opened and wait on how it's opening. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know about Bitcoin. When we're talking about Ethereum, I would avoid Ethereum. I still think Ethereum is quite weak. And I still think that even though we might have some short-term recovery, I still think this is going to drop down lower. The key level that we need to break above is 4,270. If we're able to reclaim that by a miracle, that's good news. Anything under is bad news. When we're talking about XRP, I actually think XRP is one of the strongest coins right now. So this is actually a coin to keep your eyes on and potentially take a trade on that. I mean, if it fits your strategy. So that's what I think you need to know about Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, the fundamentals. If I haven't, I have said it, but to mention it again, some of the data that we had today very much depends on the inflation rate data that we have tomorrow. And in general, that inflation rate data matters. Now, talking about altcoins. So a couple of altcoins that are strongest right now. I think NEAR is still quite strong. XRP is quite strong. Litecoin is quite strong. Do we have anything else that actually has quite a lot of volume coming in right here? Solana is not weak, but I'd be careful with that. And what more do we have? I'll keep it at that. There's not much that makes me say, oh, that's very interesting. That's very strong compared to the markets. So I'll leave it at that. Those are my thoughts. Keep your eyes on 112,000. That's the key to gaining stability and new bullish momentum again. And if we're unable to reclaim that again, that's going to be the key for a push down lower. Those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care and bye.